Woof woof and namaste. This is Hill Dog and welcome to Kanha Cast, a series of conversations with visitors and residents of Kanha Shanti Vanam, the International Center for Heartfulness. A few days ago, I had the pleasure of sitting down and having a conversation with Dr. Ichak Adizes. Dr. Ichak Adizes is the founder and CEO of Adizes Institute. He is one of the world's leading experts on leadership and change management. He has advised Fortune 100 companies and startups, as well as country leaders. He is also a best-selling author who has published 26 books, which have been translated into 36 languages. The Leadership Excellence magazine recognized him as one of the top 30 thought leaders on leadership in the world. So Dr. Adizes carries with him a wealth of experience, and he also practices heartfulness meditation. Dr. Adizes was in Kanha to lecture at the CEO Forum and Retreat. So when he visited Kanha, we spoke about Kanha Shanti Vanam, of course, heartfulness meditation, change, love, and life. You'll also find references to Chariji and Daji in this conversation. And for those who do not know, Daji is the current heartfulness guide, and Chariji was the heartfulness guide before him. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. So Dr. Adizes, welcome to Kanha, and it's wonderful to have you in the studio. It's been a long time since you were in Kanha. How has it changed? What changes do you notice when you come here?
I am shocked. I mean, the construction here, the amount of development here is almost not to recognize the place. I'm lost. I just could not find my way around. So it is very, very, very impressive. Very impressive. This is an incredible community. I just took a lot of pictures, especially of the children's park, because I'm really committed to bring my son to live here. He is a movie director like you, of some fame. Two of his movies went to Cannes.
Oh, wow.
And he got an Emmy, so he is really...
Fantastic.
He's a very established movie director and producer. So, but I wanted to move here with the family because I would like my grandchildren to grow here. So I made a lot of pictures to send him to show him what this place is about. And I believe that Kanha is the escape for civilization as the world is falling apart. This is a place which everybody should come to see what life could be.
Wow, that is a huge statement coming from you. And as I know, you've probably been in all parts of the world. And
58 countries.
Wow. And for you to decide that you would like your grandchildren to grow up in Kanha, what makes this place so special?
I was just telling brother Harpreet, that it is interesting, my case. I'm going to be lecturing here on Saturday, Sunday. And I told him, when we corresponded, that I'm coming to rest, so please, don't make me work too hard. I'll give 1 hour and a half, and 1 hour and a half, and that's it. I'm telling you, otherwise I'm canceling my trip. I said, okay. After being here 3 hours, I told him, what can I do for you? Just tell me. I'm available 100% of the time. What happened? There is something in the climate here, in the atmosphere, in the vibrations, that makes you want to give. You automatically feel, wow. You know, it is subconscious even, subconscious. Everything is a vibration. When I travel all over the world, when I land in an airport, I feel it on my back, the vibrations of the city. I can tell you what kind of a city it is. I feel the city, you know. You feel New York. And if you go to Montana, you feel Montana, you know. Here you feel Kanha. You feel peace. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Just go with the flow. Just give of yourself. Everything will be given back. I mean, there is a sense of freedom and love. And I would like my grandchildren to grow in an environment like that. An environment where they're loved not only by the parents and grandparents, but everybody on the street. Everybody around, all the neighbors. I mean, you feel it. I was in a car driven from Pearl somewhere, and the driver was stopping. Everybody was walking. Says, "Would you like a ride?" I mean, where does it happen in the world? Where does it happen? So this is what's special. It's a very giving, loving atmosphere here. You feel it in the trees. You feel it in the flowers. You feel it. The garden for the children, the park for the children, is mind-blowing. The artwork on the floor. I mean, wow! It's a heart-opening environment. And I wrote everybody, guys, you have to come here to see what life can be.
Wow. That is really something. And as you said, for children to be growing up in such an atmosphere, we can only hope that more places around the world become like Kanha.
But that's what I'm going to talk to Daji today. I asked him to talk a meeting with him one-on-one. That is a criticism I have. Not criticism, constructive recommendations. Because I'm a management consultant. I cannot help it to find out what can be improved. I mean, this goes naturally, like an artist immediately looks for.
Sure.
If this is going to be, I call it the Jerusalem of the New World. We are not organized to be. For instance, there is no visitors center to take you around, to show you, to explain. Here, my friend from Mexico is here. If Harpreet was not taking us around, we'll be sitting in the hotel, drinking tea and talking about Mexico.
So true.
That is crime. We need anybody that comes here, new, old, friends, visitors, whatever. Show them around. Explain the philosophy. Explain what heartfulness is about. We need to do it.
Absolutely.
It's not being done. And it also, another thing that is missing here, the real problem is not India. You guys are very eye-oriented, integration-oriented, very friendly. No place in the world you will drive like you drive here and not kill. Any place in the world, if you drive like you're driving here, they will get out of the car and kill each other. Here, nothing, everything is fine. So you guys know how to handle conflict.
And chaos.
Very peacefully. The world does not know. So the world needs Kanha, not India. India, yes, but mainly the world. However, Kanha is mainly Indian. It's Hindu-centric. I look around, how many Western faces do you see? 5%?
True.
So we are not doing the job. We are not doing the job. And that's very, very bad. I think we have to find a way to encourage people from the world where they need this to see, to come here, to be shown around, to be indoctrinated what the possibilities are, so when they go back to the countries, they say, guys, I have seen the future. We are not doing it.
Yes, I think it's pretty much a work in progress currently, and it's not the...
Okay,
it's not...
fine, do it. What I'm saying is, that's what they're missing for me.
Sure,
and
sure.
It is also not enough Western. It's Hindu-centric. You see, it is. I was just in the Ayurvedic center. You get a towel with which I wash, I dry my dishes with. And how do I go to dry myself? I'm a Western guy. I need a towel.
Yes, for sure.
So we are not Western enough.
Yes.
To make the Western people come here and say, wow.
But I'm sure inputs from people like yourself and input from visitors here would really help take Kanha in the right direction.
Daji about it. Daji likes to hear my comments, so
no, it's wonderful.
Listen to it, so I think it's going to. So far, so good.
And this is something that has been such a huge part of your life, actually intervening with organizations, helping organizations, showing them the way. The corporate life cycle, your book has been such a bestseller. And the whole Adizes philosophy, how did you get into it? Was there something in your childhood that you wanted to help people? How did you get into helping organizations?
It was not done by intention. I didn't get up one morning and say, I'm going to be the guru of management. It happened one step at a time. It's still happening, by the way. It's still happening. I just constantly discovering new things and developing further and further and further. It started by failure.
Wow.
I was a professor at the university, and since I'm a good speaker, somebody invited me to consult to his company. And it was really the Los Angeles Music Center. And they said they had the Los Angeles Philharmonic, 2 theaters, opera, chamber music, everything. Big center, like Lincoln Center in New York, Los Angeles Music Center. How can we make some more money? Because we're depending too much on philanthropy. So I studied the problem and I found $1 million. $1 million in 1970, 50 years ago, was a lot of money. So I wrote a report like a consultant. Where was the money? Not in the theater, not in the symphony, in the restaurant, in the garage. That was managed by the county. So the county was making money.
Wow.
And I said, wait a moment. Why don't we say to the county, thank you very much. We will manage the hotel and the restaurants and the garage and $1 million. And they called me in and gave me a piece of paper, said, would you please sign it? I said, sign what? And I looked at it, it says that I've never written the report, it doesn't exist, and I don't have a copy in case I wrote it. So why are you investigating this? Because you're naive, you want us to fight with the county of Los Angeles? To go into a political fight now? Thank you very much, we don't need it. So I discovered politics, which I didn't know much about. You don't teach politics in the business school. They teach you, financial statements, they teach you, how to decide. Politics, nada. So I quit the university. I gave up the university, lifetime appointment. And I said, I better find out how do you make change happen? Because nobody knows. There are no books written about it. All the major consulting companies, even today, they're suffering from it, that they make a recommendation and then it doesn't get implemented or gets implemented with a lot of conflict, with a lot of blood in the corridors. So I said, I better find out way to do it. So I went to learn it from the field. I didn't know what I was doing. I made a lot of mistakes. I learned by doing, and I documented it. And then I wrote manuals, and I taught other people how to do it. And if they didn't do it right, then I saw, what's wrong in the manuals? I correct the manual. So it took 50 years to develop the methodology. How do you make change happen successfully without destructive conflict and rapidly? And that's how, so it was just the need. There was a need, and I decided I'm going to respond to the need.
That's incredible. But that must have taken a real leap of faith to leave university, uncertain about the future course. Or were you always certain that you can make it?
It was a faith, but truly it was not so difficult because there were two things. Number one, the faculty where I was not liking what I was going to do. Because I told them, look, to develop this, how do you implement change? How do you implement change? How do you deal with the politics, There is nothing in the library. There are no books written about it. I have to go do it in the field to do it, which means I need to do it. Give me a year vacation off, and I will do it. Because at that time, Bank of America was the biggest bank in America at that time. asked me to change the bank because they were losing market share. They were going down. I said, we don't know how to change. We don't know how to change. We are too bureaucratic. We are ignoring the market. How do you change the culture? I said, well, let me try. But that you cannot do it in 1 day a week, which usually they allow you when you're a member of a faculty. So I asked for permission to give me a year or two vacation without pay so I can change the bank and learn from it. They were jealous. They said, no, we are here for teaching and research, not for consulting. So I had a choice. Either I'm going to follow what I believe needs to be done, or I'm going to be a prisoner, in a university, teach 3 hours a week or 6 hours a week, just rewrite my dissertation for the next 20 years, and just die intellectually. And I said, I'm giving up. So the faculty actually pushed me out by saying, you cannot do what you want to do. You're doing consulting. I said, I'm doing research. I'm doing research in the field research. They didn't want to listen to me. And at the same time, Bank of America said, we need you to change around $1 million a year for the next 3 years. Do you want to take it? I say, I take it. So it was a soft landing. It was not so bad.
Okay, so there wasn't that huge uncertainty there. But as you went on with the consulting work, one thing that stands out with Adizes Institute...
Wait.
Yeah.
You called it consulting. I'm not a consultant. There's a difference. Let me tell you why. What I learned by doing, at the beginning I was considered a consultant, but then I learned I'm not a consultant. Why? A consultant follows the allopathic medicine model. I'm the doctor. I even have a white mantle to tell you that I'm the doctor. You're the patient. You have the problem, I have the solution. And I give you a prescription, what you should do. That's called consulting. I turn the table around. I'm a therapist. I don't tell you what to do. I ask you questions. So you realize what you need to do, and you realize that you better do it. I am just asking questions. So what I developed is what questions to ask in which sequence. What is the right sequence to ask the questions so that you come to your own conclusions. What is your problem? And you come to your own conclusions, what's your solution? And then the implementation is rapid.
Amazing. That is
really more into organizational therapy, not consulting.
Wow. So in this field of, as you said, institutional therapy, organizational therapy, one thing that has stood out is a lot of the organizations that have worked with Adizes Institute, they develop these humanitarian values, very strong humanitarian values, taking care of the workforce and things like that. How did that come about? Is it part of the solution, or is it...
Okay, look, it's a little bit deeper, but let me try to make it short. Why do I call myself organizational therapist? Because my job is to heal a sick organization. Sick organization manifested by losing market share, people leaving the company, people unhappy, getting bureaucratized, all kind of problems that people say, this company has a problem. Sick. How do I turn it to be people want to go to work and the company goes like this? The next guy you're going to interview.
So the person Dr. Adizes is speaking about here is Eduardo Garza T. Sr., the founder of Frisa, which is one of the leaders in the forging industry in the world. Frisa is based out of Mexico, and Mr. Eduardo Garza was at Kanha Shanti Vanam to lecture at the CEO Forum and Retreat. And I was scheduled to interview him next, but Mr. Garza got called away on some other business, so we couldn't actually do that interview.
The next guy you're going to interview, it took him 20 years to go to $15 million sales. After he hired Adizes, in the next 30 years, he made it $1 billion in sales.
Wow.
So it tells you, growth like this, growth like this. So it is more money, better, happy people, better quality of life. How do you do it? What is the difference? I'll tell you the difference. You have to make the right decisions and you have to implement them. To make right decisions, there is no single guy that can make all the right decisions all the time. You need a complementary team together. If the complementary team learns from each other, they create, that's called synergy. Differences that work together create synergy. Why are they working together? Because there is symbiosis. They're going to benefit from each other, what they create. So a healthy organization is synergetic and symbiotic. I call it symbiotic. Symbiosis and synergy put together. Capitalism is synergy without symbiosis. Growth, I have more, you don't have nothing. Socialism is symbiosis without synergy. That's why Churchill said capitalism is unequal distribution of wealth and socialism is equal distribution of poverty. So now, what is the trick? What I did? Unite them. So what we do in a company, we say, listen guys, we are in it together. I don't like the word management workers. We are all managing ourselves with different jobs. We need the workers to manage too, because they have to tell us what the problems are. They have to also solve the problems. So what does it mean there is a worker? It's part of the management is not an elite. Management is not a class. Management is a process. That anybody involved in it is a manager. Period. So I don't like this distinction, management, Look at the word supervisor. Comes from the word superior vision. And who works for the supervisor? Subordinates. What is subordinates? Subordinary. Do you realize the elitist approach here?
Sure.
The elitism. I break this down. We must work together. Because when we work together, management and workers together, whatever is needed, we are going to succeed. And then we are going to share. The workers should get profit sharing like anybody else. He will tell you, his example, the guy you're going to interview next, of a diesel methodology. His workers get benefits better than, he takes care of them like they're his own family.
Wow.
And the workers look at the company like it is their company. Their company, I'll give you one example, he should tell you. There was a flood in his city where he has. His company is on the river banks. Many factories on the river bank. There was a flood, and all the factories along the river got mud up to the knees. So the factory was paralyzed. Oh my God. So he went to see what happened to his factory. And what did he discover? Without saying a word, he just went to see what happened. All the workers, their families, their neighbors, parents were there cleaning up the factory. Nobody told them.
Wow.
It is our factory. All the other factories took them 3 months to clean. His factory in 2 weeks was operational.
That is
Why?
incredible.
We are together. We are one. We are not we and you. This is very, very, very important. He took me, I was walking down the factory line. He says, Dr. Adizes, why don't you ask the worker, how is the company doing? I said, what do you mean? Does he know what the company is doing? He said, sure he knows how they were doing. Why? Because he's in profit sharing. So I could ask a worker, how is the company doing? He knows, he says, no. He writes his own check because he gets a profit sharing.
Wow.
So we are together. So it's a methodology. Unity, integration. And that's what we do.
That's beautiful.
The difference between disease and healthiness is how together you are. You're sick when you're falling apart. When you're together, you're healthy. That's it.
So it really challenges the prejudice people have of organizations just concentrating on the bottom line, not on the people. It's breaking down that prejudice. It's not true. And that's something extraordinary that Adizes Institute is helping organizations recognize.
Right. And implement.
And implement. Yes, absolutely. And it's fantastical that all this comes from asking the right questions. That's incredible.
You have to come to the realization and not somebody telling you.
Yeah, because everybody can give you answers.
You get your own realization.
Yeah.
So that's what they developed, how to ask them, which questions to ask, at which sequence. So the company, and whom to ask. So you're not talking only to the CEO.
Sure, you'll get one side of the story.
The whole management team, including representatives of the workers. I get a trade union there. I even get franchisees in.
Whoa.
I get even times the suppliers in. Why? Because we need them to cooperate. So they're not different. We are in the same boat.
That's extraordinary. You spoke of integration and getting together, and you yourself have had a journey with meditation, which could be called something like inner integration. How did you discover meditation, or were you always inclined towards?
Okay, I'll tell you the story. I'm a Holocaust survivor. And the byproduct of that is that I did not love. I was scared to love.
Because you saw the worst that humanity.
I saw the people I love disappear.
Hmm.
So I was afraid if I loved them, they would disappear. I had a psychological problem. I went through a lot of psychotherapy because of that. I could not love. I just no love. Oh, love. Oh my God! No love. No love. But I was suffering because if you don't love and you don't let anybody love you, you're quite miserable. And I decided I need to do something about it. So I went to psychotherapy, all kind of therapy. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. And then one of my associates, Sunil Dovedi, told me, there is a certain meditation that I'm joining now. And I told him, leave me alone. I tried all meditations, by the way. I tried with putting my tongue to the top of my head, my mouth, or focusing on here and focusing on a candle. I tried all meditations. Could not do it. So I told him, leave me alone, please. He says, but this is a different one. Why? How different is it? It focuses on the heart. So I'm game because I needed it. I needed it. Focus on the heart. It was my personal journey. I needed it. So he introduced me to Chariji. And I told Chariji, I cannot meditate. I tried. The Maharishis invited me. Everybody invited me because I'm famous, so they wanted me to be part. I cannot do it. Chariji said, everybody out of the room. Daji was there, by the way. Out of the room, he gave me personal sitting. And he said, come back. So I said, I will try. So I came to Chennai and slowly got involved in it. And I got excited. The most important thing for me of the whole meditation literature, for me, is the prayer. The prayer is what made the difference in my life. And I don't know whether you know, but I reinterpreted the prayer. Daji agreed I can reinterpret it.
The prayer Dr. Adizes is speaking about is the heartfulness prayer, which goes like this. O Master, thou art the real goal of human life. We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage.
Because I felt very uncomfortable. Oh, Master, you're the goal of human life. I said, I went to Chariji and I said, Chariji. I became very close to him. I don't know whether you know.
I do. In fact, I've been at Satkol when you've had those question-answer sessions with Chariji.
Well, I also reorganized the Sahaj Marg.
Yes. You helped us.
So said, Chariji, Master, do you want me to be like you? What is this personality cult, She said, no, it's not me. It's a God. Say, it's even worse now. Should I say, God, you're the goal of human life. Do you want me to be God? Something doesn't make sense here. He had no answer. But then I started thinking, who is Master? Who is God that I want to be like? God is love. Take the word Master and put the word love. Love. You're the goal of human life.
That's beautiful.
We exist to love and to be loved. If you don't have love, you die. That's people that are in seclusion in the hospital, in the prison. They die. They commit suicide. You cannot live without love. Little babies, if they don't have love, they don't develop. Our goal is love. And me, there is no love because of the Holocaust. I said, oh my God. This is what we need. But then It's expectations that block our way. And that is what made the difference for me. Because I live on expectations. You cannot love when you have expectations. Because always expectations are bigger than what people can deliver. Expectations is one of the legs on a ladder to hating. Because you start with, I wish. When it doesn't happen, you say, I want. When it doesn't happen, you said, darn it, I expect it. When it doesn't happen, you said, I deserve it. If it doesn't happen, what the hell is going on? I hate you. How come I don't get it? The moment you expect, you're starting to climb on the ladder called hate. Get off that ladder. Don't expect. Do your best. If it happens, happens. If it doesn't happen, who are you to control the world? You do your best. All you can do is control yourself. If it doesn't happen, world has a different story. You're not in charge of the world. That made me a lot of humble. And by not expecting, I started discovering my wife. I started discovering my children. I started discovering wow, this is where love started. By removing expectations, you can get to love. And you are the only power that can make him get to you. Then I said to Charity, wait a moment, there is some problem here. You're the goal, but you're the only one that makes me go to the goal. There is a tautological problem here. He says, yes, because love is a muscle. Only love can make you go to love. You cannot start to love from nothing. You have to start with love. A little bit. Start. Change my life. So I started small things, and it started to grow. So, yes, heartfulness changed my life.
That's beautiful. And for people starting out in the business career and business life, or just in life in general, you've had such a vast, experience from the worst that humanity could do in the Holocaust to, you say, love, which is probably the best that we have access to. What is your advice to young people starting out in life? What is the most important thing? Where do we need to focus? What do we not lose sight of?
Do what you love. See, when I was studying for my dissertation, doctorate, I was a student that people liked, so every professor tried to pull me to his direction. Come and study decision science, mathematical models for decision making. They're the future, artificial intelligence. Others said, no, marketing, you should come and study, do your dissertation in marketing. I said, I'm going to do it on management, on leadership. No, at that time it was not called leadership. Today it is leadership, management. Everybody told me it's a dying field. Nobody wants to do it. There is nobody teaching it anymore. So you're going to get a doctorate you're going to die from that, He says, I would rather die and do what I like rather than be a prisoner of something that I don't like. So I said no. So I followed my heart all the time. So when I said do what you love is follow your heart. Whatever in doubt, meditate. It will tell you what to do. I really, whenever I have a problem, I don't know what to do, I meditate and I don't focus on the problem. I don't focus on the problem at all. I just meditate. The answer comes. The answer comes. So follow your heart.
That is amazing advice. I can't think of anything more simple yet profound to as advice to people. Lastly, I wanted to ask you that the word love that you've used, it's very often used. We encounter it so frequently in life. And we also, through the ages, we've had people say that love thy neighbor, love, God is love also has been said. But these are words. How do you move beyond the words to an experience of love?
I was just telling Daji today. I looked at your brochure about polarity integration, whatever it's called. And it says there that the giver should follow the light, divine light. I'm a Westerner. I don't know divine light. I look for the light. What is the light? I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to
Sure.
I deal with it differently. I was telling Daji, and he said, you might incorporate it. When I meditate, the practice is you start breathing and feeling the energy from your toes up the body and around, right? I do something different. I ask myself, whom do I love with all my heart? Whom do I love? I love. Let's say one of my sons at this point in time. And I feel love. I get all at once, I feel love. Then I start by my toes. And I send love to my toes. I love my toes. Go up. I love my knee, although it's giving me a hard time. And I love my stomach here, although it's fat. Never mind, I still love you. And I love my shoulders. And I love my neck that gives me a hard time. And I love my body, going all over my body. Love, love, love. And if the experience escapes me, I go back to whom I love, my son. I go, get it back again to the feeling. Practice feeling love. Practice feeling love. Then I expand. I finish loving myself. Loving my children. I can see them. I feel the love. Loving my wife. I feel the love. Then my neighbors I love. Then I love my friends. And I love my customers. And I expand as far as I can go. And constantly feeling. If you do it every day, you become love.
Wow.
Looking for the divine light. We are not experiencing, we should experience love. Meditation is an opportunity to experience love. And if we don't experience love, then we are talking about it too much. We are not experiencing it enough.
So true. And also the second aspect that people find difficult to understand, especially in the West, is the teacher, the guru.
I like the way Daji calls it is a spiritual leader. The word guru means teacher. People misunderstand it. Believe that guru is the master and we are all slaves, We all look at him. That's one of the things that I notice here. I mean, this all admiration like this, No. I think we should look at the master, that he mastered something. He's not a master of me. He mastered himself. He mastered to overcome his samskaras. He mastered to overcome, his fears. He mastered to get to a level that I wish I could get there. So he's really an example. He's not my master. No, he's not my master. He's my benchmark I want to achieve. So that's how I look at the master, at the guru, as a benchmark, something the goal to achieve, not as my master. Too many people look at it, when Daji passes by, infatuation, Oh, he's my master. He's not your master. He's a master, not my master. A master. For me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Adizes, for sitting down. It's been half an hour, but it's just flown by. We could sit here for hours and hours.
Questions. I congratulate you.
No, thank you. It's been wonderful. So that was my conversation with Dr. Ichak Adizes. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. You can find Dr. Adizes at ichak@adizes.com and also at adizes.com. To hear more such conversations, please subscribe to this channel, and also you can find us on Spotify on the Kanha Cast channel. That is KANHACAST. Thank you for listening. This is Hill Dog signing off. Woof woof.